All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon, January 6th. Great to have all of us, though, back here, back inside our live trading room. Grant, Kathleen, Genevieve, Tim, Bill, got all of us here just joining us, though, as well as all of us, though, on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, the works, all of us on social media, at least down below, lower left, at least if you're not followed or subscribed yet to our socials, just at Cyber Trading U, namely on YouTube, as well as on X and Twitter. But either way, on Facebook, just look us up, Cyber Trading University, Instagram there too. Hey, also make sure to check out Fausto's side channels as well. Fausto Home Living, get hens as well there too, right? I gotta pitch that as well. But let's hop right into the thick of things, at least here for all of us collectively. AEVA. Now, I want to commend Brian on this because he was asking about it first, or gave me his thoughts and kind of asked him what mine were. I was like, what is this stock? What do they do? I'm not really too familiar with them. And all he said was that, hey, this is a company that partnered up with NVIDIA from like overnight. That's all I need to know. That's all we need to know, right? We don't even trade the news in the sense of, I'm just going to buy it just because the news came out. Well, there's a reason why this stock is up 39% right now at this point. And of course, it's for us here at CTU. Well, the buyer stepped in, broke through resistance. We saw a big iceberg on the ass get broken over by buyers. That's what led us in the trade. Of course, there was a news headline that first came out, and then we saw a positive reaction afterwards. And that was based on the buying pressure, seeing big orders on the ask getting broken through. So for the time being, phenomenal job. Is anyone in on this trade right now, the AEVA? I figure Brian himself, Genevieve, all over just before too. Anyone in on this AEVA trade just from before, or maybe just from now? Jumped in just most recently. I'm not in on it here, so I have no skin in the game here myself. But, for the time being, the more that we can keep seeing a resistance getting tested, see it get broken through. But then ultimately to see resistance get flipped into support. So that's the hope now. If we could see this 17.89-ish, $18-ish, flip into support going into the close, or if it just runs from here at this point, then great, excellent. Just make sure it keeps with higher lows from this point. Genevieve says she jumped in last night. Excellent. I'm not showing my 24-hour data here. Let me just show that. All right. So what happens? Popped even, from Monday night, right at 6 o'clock pretty much when the news first came out. So pulled back, shook around for a while. So you had plenty of time to even get in a bit lower around 10:30, 10:45 in the morning, quote unquote reversal time. But beautiful trade since either way. Made one trade this morning in on it again, she says. William C. Bill, was watching the last trade on CRML. Oh, rare earth stock. We'll get to those as well there in just a bit. But for the time being, for the afternoon, AEVA, just going to put this on our watch list to begin. Great stock, at least so far. All right, now let's see where we can kind of turn to. I guess we'll go over to Mantis, or Momentous, Mantis as I call it, MNTS here. Just another pop that we had here on this one going into the mid to late morning. It wasn't really our top stock for today. I can go through other trades like the AEVA that did better. Just, I figure I go over this because I'm still in it right now. I almost got stopped out at least earlier today. I took this as an entry when it had pulled back down. Called it out a little late after it first broke out here. That's where I was figuring we could see resistance flip into support. So ended up jumping on just like a quarter-sized position here, right here at 880. And I almost got stopped out. This thing pulled down towards 852, a few pennies shy from where my stop was. But added this crazy pop out of nowhere. Genevieve's here too, because she caught this pop in the morning yesterday, right at 8:30 in the morning. So it was almost like a similar style pop, just out of left field, out of nowhere. I didn't even care to check the news. Like maybe there was additional news that came out right at that point. I'll even check right now, I guess. But either way, for the afternoon, I don't mind putting this back on our list. Not just because I'm in it, but it's actually pinning up right against resistance here. It's a very similar pattern to the AEVA in the general context of retesting resistance over and over, eventually get that better reaction, that better move. So it failed to really flip this into support earlier. Well, the hope is to see it now. So I don't mind putting this back on our list as well. Just this one, though, be careful. I think the AEVA trade has better volume out there in the order book. This doesn't have as good orders out there, right? But, two good ones to put on our list to begin. Also to let you know, hey, you got to be in our room at least, of course, and not always in our room throughout the day, like you and me and We're not always at our desk 24/7, right? So we're going to miss moves. But if you were with us yesterday, I was telling you point blank, like, Fausto was bringing up the politicians and trading and Pelosi and anyone, Crenshaw and all of them. Well, popped up in my head. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Good point. Like, let me think about that BBAI trade that I took. This was throughout the summer. We nailed this as a group here inside our live trading room. BBAI was like a 43% winner over the summer. Great trade because a politician disclosed a position on it for the first time ever. And what got me thinking, I'm like, wait a second, this was at a level here. It was pretty much right near the bottom around this 560-ish, 555. That's where I'm in from. This was a phenomenally well-timed trade. Just came from nowhere because we were just talking as a group here about politicians trading and this and that. Hey, right place, right time. Now for the afternoon, BBAI is at the high of the day. It's up over 5%. Now this has much better liquidity on the books. So this either way, not just a great swing from our entry yesterday morning. It could be a great swing over time from even here. But at the bare minimum, it's a good day trade. So another one I'll put on our list here for now, BBAI. Why not? The fig trade's down a little bit today. Not much straight home on that, at least for now. So still in it. But let's just go through the rest of the watch list right now. Rest of the scanner here on the gainer side. See what we can go through for right now. Jack up the volume criteria at least. Oh, that's right, the ALMS. So we had a good little trade on this earlier in the morning too. Two things. A, pre-market, can't set stops. So for something that doesn't have good liquidity on the book and you don't really have stops out there to use in pre-market to kind of back yourself up on, well, you got to trade this on tiny size. The stock is at all-time highs. Not only that, so the thin order book, stocks at all-time highs, pretty risky. It was up big already in pre-market already, like it was up over 100% by the time it was 9 o'clock. So you can't do this on full-size position like you would normally do on a cheaper trade, better liquidity like the BBAI. Second thing, I wouldn't wish my worst enemy's worst enemy to try and short this thing as it is screaming up at all-time highs. Pre-market, you can't set stops. That's how accounts get blown up, my friends. So was this a good short over time? Yeah, it was. Thankfully, it was a better short after the market opened. So where you were able to use your stops, your seatbelts, and this eventually broke a pretty good lower low. So with good patience comes good reward. Clean entry right from 1850, good for about a few points, right? Listen, if you're able to get a few points on this trade where A, you could use your stops and your seatbelt, and B, with that, maybe you could trade larger size, knowing that you have a little less risk, backed into the trade. That actually leads to more reward, doesn't it? So you don't mind waiting for that lower low then if you're going to get a clean entry, clean profit, right? So that's just what I point out. As long as the stock is going up, 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 there is no thought of counter trend. There could be later on, and you could still make a lot of money doing that. We're done with this thing, though, either way, up and down, whatever news came out on this thing. We're moving on to the next flavor of the day, aren't we? So AZI, good move up earlier this morning, this afternoon even, you could say. For the time being, it technically still is holding a higher low in essence and trending down here recently off like 1 o'clock. But from the initial run that it's had today, it's still technically basing out. There could be a thought behind this making one more push. I'll come back to it at the end. All right, let's keep going through. Now we'll kind of just sift through this gainer side here. A couple quick shout outs, as always, on YouTube. Of course, we always have our students inside our live trading room, about 120 of us right now live. One of us simulcasting as always. Leda, appreciate you. Thank you as always. I got Expertise. There you go. Appreciate you as well. Joining us on YouTube this afternoon. Expertise there. And got Troy on Twitter, X. There you go. Very nice, Troy, joining us on social media here today. I usually pick my favorite look from your morning watch list. If I would have went with AZI, would have made me thousands. I ended up going with ONDS, unfortunately. We'll get into that one in a bit too. That's been a great swing trade, that ONDS. And maybe didn't have the best morning move today, but that also could be a great day trade. Maybe right place, wrong time. That could happen. MRNO, we'll just kind of keep going through this though for a bit. This is kind of dead for the time being. You got to have stocks near or at the highs of the day right now, much like the AEVA. Good trade there. much like the ACRV, actually. Not a bad one to look at for right now. Good spread, not bad orders out there. It's at the highs, so and it's not a full gap fill until it could even try and break above 442. But basically, there's kind of free room to see this run up right now. It broke a local higher high here. Probably has a little resistance right around just this vicinity, if not this exact little low, then probably around 330s, 350s. There could be a little room to scalp it on the way up there. Not a bad idea. I'll add it for now. Again, notice how I phrase this. It's a good stock to put on our list for the time being. I like the MNTS a lot more for right now, the AEVA for right now, EVAI, ZNTL, I guess a pharma stock here. A cheap stock at the highs, good spread, liquidity's there. I mean, checks out. Now, I feel like we're going to build up a big list. So unless if there's something that's going to like kind of smack me upside the face and make my jaw drop, let's just kind of sift through here. I mean, RGC, I figured bad spread, not really much to work with on that in terms of the order book. What the hell happened here? Was this like a midday buyout? Pretty rare. That doesn't really happen too often. Normally buyouts are made more in pre-market or after hours. This just kind of happened smack dab in the middle of the day. Check that. Pretty choppy chart there. All right. So it's good to sift through a lot of this, weed out a lot of the crap. SNDK, phenomenal pop this morning. WDC at the high of the day, I think, too. A lot of those a lot of those memory storage companies working with the data centers, those are up huge today. Micron obviously had a day. AXTI. Ooh, I keep forgetting about this trade. And I even remembered it one day in like last week or the week before, but look at this trend. Holy smokes. I mean, week after week, this is insane. This, I think, is at all-time highs now. Is at all-time highs? It's just a rocket here. So great stock to put on our list for right now. Actually, I'm going to put this at the top. AXTI. CRML making a good push there too. So I don't know if AXTI is affiliated with like the rare earth mineral stocks or whatever the case, but just having a good little afternoon so far. CRML. There we go. CRML, probably USAR, a little bit there, little pop here. USAR. TMC, not as much. Wow, not as much today for TMC. This has been a pretty healthy chart of late too. This will be a good swing trade. Once this can break above resistance here around 815, flip it into support, that's a pretty easy to see level. For right now, though, CRML, specifically here, this one, yeah, I'll put this on our list too. I guess this will be number 2. I like the AXTI, the CRML, probably the most so far now at this point. SIDU space stock. I saw Rocket Lab break all-time highs today. There we go. It's up over 8% still, all-time highs, like I just said. A little expensive, but if you're trying to focus on maybe the option side, do some calls on it. Just, hey, keep this on our list for right now, probably on the back end, but great trade. All right, so let's see what else we got here at least. NVTS, not much there. It's the ETF at least. Western Digital, we had said before, huge move up at the highs. This is pretty expensive. If it was a little bit cheaper, I'd easily just feature it on our list. We want to make room for at least stocks more within our price range. NFE at the high of the day. I'm just kind of popped up in my head. May as well check out NKE, which is Fausto swing trade. So, you know what? Kind of putting this back on our list here too. Just not up 5%, but remember, it's not just the CTU day trading list, it's the day/swing list. So for anyone listening to the morning meeting with Fausto, you know that he's been big in Nike with the whole Tim Cook, the CEO, they bought shares. Even with that, I think World Cup, that was his first thing on it. And then now Maduro, right now the whole Maduro thing, kind of him in the outfit. He posted that whole video on Instagram, on YouTube just the last day or so. I'm talking about Fausto at least. On the whole Maduro situation. So I'll slap this on the backside of our list for right now, Nike, just to remind us of the swing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Holy shit! There's a lot of stocks that's up more than 5%. There are a lot of stocks up today. Warby, Genevieve, just checking that out there briefly. Moderna, flat now. Children's Place, not much there. All right. So if anything else looks good that's up more than 5%, folks, hey, all hands on deck. Let me know, right? Let's hop over to the loser side, though, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better there. Got to check out that ONDS. Just checking out the chat again on social media. There we go, Nabil. See, I know you by Nabil, one of our students there, expertise on YouTube. So let's hop over to the losers list at least, right? ELAB down big, can't short it. TGen down big, you can short it. It is easy to borrow, but the spread, the trend, not really much to work with. So let's see. You're just kind of skimming through. If there's a lot on the gainers list, there's probably not a lot on the loser side, unless if it's an ETF. SoFi's down a lot today. Didn't realize that. Not really at the intraday lows though for right now. And this is actually a very strong chart, swing trading wise. So this could eventually be a good bounce off support. Seeing previous resistance flip into support around here. It already did it back in November, but maybe it does it again soon. This is a healthy swing chart. IREN, I'd say the same still. MSTR. What's Bitcoin up to right now? Still kind of holding around 92.1. We're doing all right there still. Little down day, but when we've had 5 straight green days in a row, my TradeStation chart's not reflecting the weekend, Saturday and Sunday candles. So technically, we've actually had 5 straight green days in a row on Bitcoin. Not going to be surprised to have this red today, before 8 o'clock tonight. So the goal is at least by the end of the week, we see this just continue to make higher lows, higher highs. We move up towards that 100,000, 101. All right, so the ONDS, right? Just checking that back out. Well, like we said before, right? It was a good trade to work with, but maybe right place, wrong time from earlier. It's at the highs now. And again, it's at I think all-time highs. Nope, I lied. Well, it's at obviously 52-week highs. So you know what? I'll put this back on our list now, actually. But, hey, I've been there plenty of times where, you choose a good trade and you might make a little money on it even, but it wasn't the big move. It wasn't the crazy pop and runner that Fausto and 7, 8, 10 other students jumped in on. It happens. We're never going to be there on the perfect trade at the perfect time every day, every week, every month, So, it's just a matter of making money, right? Am I up more than I was up from the beginning of my morning here today? Now, it's more than just that. Obviously, we have goals to hit, targets to make. So at that point, it's just a matter of, all right, am I not really crashing and burning on a per trade basis? Because who knows? There might be a trade coming up in 12 minutes time from now as we're back on the mic and inside our live trading room. One of these trades, ONDS, BBAI, AEVA, CRML, it could be any of these that make such a pop that you weren't expecting and you were there to take it. It wipes out all those little complaints that you had earlier today about missing a trade or being there right place, wrong time. And you always got to look forward, is what I'm trying to point out. All right, folks. All right, so I'm going to leave us at that. I think that we got a great list to work with now at this point. I mean, what else here? Any of our students here otherwise? We have our watch list. We're going to post it here in just a bit, Walter, once we finish up here this broadcast. All right, so let me just check out Benzinga, and I think that should do it, though. I think we got pretty much everything, not much else, right? MRNO is not really doing a whole lot. The Sky E trade, pretty flat. This one's kind of at the highs here. JCSE, what the hell is this? I don't trust this thing as far as I could throw it. This JCSE trade, yeah, we'll pass. All right, you know what? I like what we got here for right now, folks. Really good list. Very strong list altogether. Not a short list. Not too big of a list. It's just right. So there's no need to dip outside of this list here. And unless if it's some crazy halt, Rich will be there, of course, to catch that. It's always great to have him back now. So, I'll pretty this list up at least in just a bit. Make sure that we're good to go for the afternoon. Again, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, etc., Not Nabil, not Leda, because those are students of ours that are actually simulcasting here on social today. But Troy and any of us otherwise, hey, if you're looking to join us inside our live trading room, first and foremost, if you haven't already followed or subscribed to us on YouTube, on social, X, etc., just at Cyber Trading You right there. But otherwise, just go right down to the link scrolling below on the bottom right there in blue. Some alliteration there to top it off. But ctu.co/trial. We are here all throughout the weekdays, Monday to Friday, from, well, at least even as early as 7 a.m. Eastern. We get some early birds popping in here to chat beginning in pre-market, but we're here all day up until 4 o'clock, 4:30. And, hey, we look forward to having you joining us there soon enough. But otherwise, hey, best of luck trading going into the close. And we'll be back on the mic here in just a bit. Take care.